I'm Julia Hartley-Brewer. Let's talk right now about pubs and the plight of pubs, which we were told was going to be tackled by Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, at the last budget. And not only did she not make their lives better, she made them worse. Let's talk about what's happening with Justin Urquhart Stewart. He's economist and chairman of the Regionally Investment Platform. Very good morning to you, Justin.
And you, Julia.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Look, we were promised, weren't we, that there will be this help for pubs. And then not only was there not help for pubs last time round in the budget, she actually basically imposed a massive increase on the cost of pubs. Tell us what they've been hit by lockdown onwards and why she's not offering to give them any help now.
Well, a series of issues have hit them, and this is where I show the lack of not just imagination, understanding of the Treasury and of her, because actually joining the dots together to see the impact of it. Yeah. So, first of all, obviously, we had the impact of what happened with COVID and everything relating to that. That's a much longer tale, but really what she hit them, first of all, with was, of course, the tax on jobs, the national insurance extra payments, and a secondary issue when we had the next budget, blow me, is another version of that going in. And she was told beforehand and afterwards, and seemed to be completely blind to the impact that would have. And we could see the impact because unemployment's going up.
Yeah. And the minimum wage massively hits.
The minimum wage always really annoys me when the government says, we've improved the minimum wage. You don't pay it. No, companies pay it. The fact that you've actually put a tax on companies by saying you've got to now pay more, the lowest, the poorest people in your company more, well, that's fine. It makes it sound look like sort of Marley and Scrooge. And of course, companies aren't like that. Yeah. But
also, I mean, we're talking minimum wage now full time is over 26 grand a year. That's a heck of a lot of money, plus all the national insurance payments on top of that for the employer. But there's been a really big issue, isn't there, with business rates, and we had some discounts to help people, the hospitality, vaguely through lockdown. But they've seen their business rates massively increase, and they're going to get a lot worse. What's happening there?
Well, what's happened there, and this is what was so iniquitous about it, the day she was announcing, saying life is now going to get it better this is what we've done to try and help pubs and other outlets like that, not mentioning the business rate figures were coming out on the same day. And so people sitting there saying, yes, we're going to pay more, and then suddenly looking at, I mean, not just small figures, we're talking about for a pub, 10, 15,000 pounds, it depends where you are. And actually just a number of people I've spoken to in the industry who said, this is not a matter of putting the price up for a pint of beer, I'm out of it. And this is we cannot afford to do this anymore, and the knock-on effect on that is going to be very dramatic indeed, for social areas and all those elements, but also again getting people to job. Where are people's first jobs? Often in the pub. Absolutely. Doing those sort of things. Because it's not just unemployment, it's the old NEET, so those people not in education and all those elements together. These are record numbers. Yeah. So she's got the opportunity now, if she's got the parts of the anatomy to be able to do so, to be able to turn around and say, actually, we're now going to have a business-friendly budget, which is going to encourage small businesses, going to actually make sure it's good news to try and employ more people, because if we can't afford to pay them, so let's get you to pay them by encouraging you to pay more. And also, let's do something dramatic as well. The old argument over stamp duty, get the economy moving by allowing people to move houses, because that's where they spend more money, people earn more.
But it's so painful, isn't it? Because there's such a community aspect to pubs as well. We learnt that during lockdown. But again, we know Keir Starmer on a phone in earlier this week basically sort of hinted that he'd be open to this, but we understand that the Treasury are going, no, we need this money in taxes. But of course, they'll end up with less coming in taxes. They're taking a bigger slice from a smaller pie, which is what they are going to keep on doing. And meanwhile, all of our local pubs and pubs that have been going for hundreds of years are just going to slowly all go under, and it's just such a massive loss to local communities, whether it's in the big cities or local, small villages. Absolutely painful. Justin, thank you so much. Always good to talk to you. Justin Urquhart Stewart. Sorry, it was short but sweet. Lots more coming up on the show.